What's up, guys? Brandon here, and today we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends Netflix Electra. Taking a look at our packaging, we've got our standard Daredevil Netflix logo. Up at the top we have a really cool Electra logo. On the side of the packaging we get some incredible box art. Very, very cool. And on the back of the packaging we get Electra with her bio and some of the other figures in the wave. Alright, let's get this figure out of the packaging and take a closer look. Alright, so now that we have our Electra figure out of the packaging, let's take a closer look. First, at the sculpt work on this Electra, you can see the detail in her face looks phenomenal. And I really like that they gave a glossy paint in her eyes. Looks fantastic. The rest of the sculpt work is pretty basic stuff. You got your basic grays, blacks, and reds. If we take a look at the back of Electra, you can see she does have a ponytail. And then basic, pretty basic, nothing extraordinary. The only thing that I dislike about the sculpt work on this Electra figure, if you can tell, her forearms are incredibly large compared to her biceps and triceps. So maybe she had a weird day at the gym, I just don't know, but it's in the sculpt work, so there's no avoiding it. It's not that one Electra is better than another or that some are worse than others. So be wary of that. It's in the sculpt work. The only other thing that I don't like, she has cuffs on her wrist, which will make it a little bit difficult for posing, especially with her knives and bending her wrist. But that is our sculpt work on Electra. And then if we take a close look at the articulation real quick, we've got movement in the head, side to side, goes up about that far. The ponytail comes down that far. Movement in the shoulder comes out about that far, down, forward, and back. We also have movement at the elbow, up and down, and a cut side to side. Movement in the wrist, side to side, and up about that far, back down about that far. We also have an ab crunch, so she can look back considerably far, forward about that far. No waist articulation, but we do have movement in the hip. We can come out about that far, which is pretty good for some kicking poses. Doesn't go back at all, unfortunately. Does come forward considerably far. We have double jointed knees, and we have a cut at the ankle and the rocker pivot. And that'll do it for our articulation with Electra. I must say she is a very, very fragile figure in hand, so I feel like I gotta be very careful with her. Our accessories for Electra, we get an alternate head. Let's see if we can focus in. Incredible sculpt work. And again, the gloss in the eyes really, really do add the extra detail. So that looks fantastic. And Electra also comes with her knives. Very, very cool. And now let's see. Do the knives fit in her hands? So, we've got one. The knives, the plastic form is very soft, rubbery material, but it does fit in her hand pretty well. And then what I noticed too about her other hand, which is really, really cool, the positioning of her fingers make it so that she can hold the knife like so. Let's see, can we do it? It's kind of tricky stuff. There we go. So the bulk of the blade goes between her index finger and her middle finger. Very cool. Now, the only tricky part with that, as you can see, she cannot hold the blade straight because of those cuffs on her wrists. But nonetheless, if you're going for a simple pose or on the shelf, it'll do the job. She can hold her blades two different ways. and both look aesthetically pleasing. Just a little tricky bending the wrist, that's all. And then if we take a look at her alternate head sculpt, got to be very careful popping off the head. There we go. And then popping on the other head. Let's see how it looks. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. Not too bad at all. Looks exactly like Electra from the TV show. Very cool indeed. The only other thing that Electra comes with, the collect and connect piece for Man-Thing, we get the leg. So, pretty interesting stuff. Standing next to Daredevil, Electra looks fantastic. They are definitely within the same scale height-wise, Daredevil being a little bit taller than Electra. They look pretty darn good. Comparing Electra to some figures from the MCU, we see that she is still definitely in scale. Being older than Scarlet Witch, you can instantly tell. And she's also just a little bit shorter than Black Panther. Black Panther not being too tall to begin with, so definitely still in scale. And for one more size comparison, here's Electra with a couple random characters. We've got Superman from the new Justice League movie. We've got a Marvel Legends Cosmic Spidey and a DC Universe Classics Catman. So you can see Electra is definitely true to 6-inch scale. Being a female figure, being just a little bit shorter, she's definitely in scale with most 6-inch figures. Alright guys, so that about does it for our Electra figure. A few ups, a few downs. Be careful with the forearms or bending of the wrist. She's a fragile figure, so you want to be careful with how you pose her or with the ponytail on the back of her head. But all in all, I'm really happy that we got an Electra figure. Somebody who can match up with Daredevil, another figure from the Netflix line. So honestly, I'm just happy to have her. The gloss in the eyes is really what sold it for me. And then the placement of those knives and the strategicness of those fingers is very cool. So, all in all, Electra's a good figure. If you're a Daredevil fan, if you're an Electra fan, if you're a Netflix fan, get her, don't question it. If you're just collecting the Legends by itself, she may be one that you want to consider. But other than that, thanks a ton for watching, guys. I really appreciate the likes, the comments, subscriptions. You guys know it. You're awesome. Couldn't be doing this without you. Stay tuned. We've got some more characters from Hell's Kitchen and from Netflix coming.